Good morning. And today I'm really excited because I'd like to tell you more about our project, the Mood Mentoring. We've been putting our Mood Mentors, we've increased their scope and reach. And our Mood Mentors are now in schools and they're now in companies. And this week, I want to speak more about what's going on with our mentors and the impact they have in their schools. My name is Jackie Campbell, and I'm the founder of Julian Campbell Foundation, a charity that helps young people to manage their mental health and well-being, therefore promoting their emotional intelligence. And through the breakdown, we had our biggest growth and it was unprecedented. And now I'm really pleased to say that our Mood Mentors, we have referrals every day for our Mood Mentors, and our Mood Mentors are now beginning to do face-to-face in schools and companies. And also they're still doing the online option, as sometimes there's a bit of a mix and match. So what is Mood Mentoring? Now, I come from a background that I was teaching for 20 years. And in that time of teaching, I was a science teacher, and also I was in the leadership teams in schools that were having their challenges, and I absolutely loved it. And what I saw in all types of schools were that we put our young people under a lot of stress. There's stress to achieve, there's stress of growing up, there's stress put on them by social media. Through my brother's suicide, I got to see things in a different way. I got to see that also the percentages that nearly 80%, like 75% of young people show mental health illnesses before they're 18 years old. So if that's 75% of young people showing signs of mental health illness and difficulty before they're 18 years old, there's a lot more that we can be doing in those formative years, because consequently what's happening is these young people, they continue to be challenged and maybe have a breakdown or get sectioned in their 20s, their 30s or 40s. And we want to avoid all of that by showing them how to manage their mental health and well-being when they're young. So a mood mentor is exactly that. A mood mentor looks at the children's mood. So so please, if you're watching now, when you're watching now or in the rerun, please let me know what school you're from or what area you're teaching in, because that would be wonderful. We have mood mentors in many places in the UK, and many places outside the UK as well. But for this, we're concentrating on the UK. What I found is when I was teaching, it was about achievement, and my my baby, if you like, what I love doing. It was about assessment for learning. And I know you've probably seen that, yeah, it's obvious that she's been out of the classroom for a long time. So 11 years, I haven't been in the classroom as a teacher, but that was my obsession about raising results, because I thought that was a young person's passport. The more results they had, the better results they had, the better they would be in the outside world, the more choices they had. But what I wasn't looking at, and it was my brother's suicide and the death of a student that I taught when he was 15 years old, was that there's a lot more than academic, success. Academic success is great, and if you're not managing your mental health and well-being, that doesn't really go so well. So mood mentors look at the mood. And we have diagnostic tools which we call the mood map, actually, and we use this, and we help, or the young person uses this with our guidance to find out where they are, where their mood is. Like, are they low mood, high energy? Are they feeling a bit anxious? Or are they low mood, low energy? Are they feeling a little bit depressed? Because once they know where they are, then they can develop strategies. And a lot of young people have developed strategies already, but they don't see the link between their well-being and what they need to do to really improve. So mood mentors look at moods. They look at strategies to help young people manage their mental health and well-being. This is what we do, and this is what they do. And we do that with young people in schools. We've started working in companies. I want to focus on schools at the moment, because our mood mentors They're not academic mentors. They're not going to help with the young person's maths or science or languages. They're not mentors that help young people at risk of exclusion. That's a different type of mentoring. But then coincidentally as well, there's a lot of research that shows that mentoring is actually really, really good to help a young person manage their mental health and well-being. That inadvertently, these were the findings, as well as everything else, them socializing well, improved emotional intelligence. There were many advantages of mentoring, and unfortunately the budgets of the researchers had run out and they weren't able to carry on with the studies, and that's why with their work and their support, and that's why these research projects had to stop. So what we want to do is have a mood mentor in every school. Why would it be important to have a mood mentor in every school? Because we work in early intervention. If 50%, research shows that 50% of young people, you can already see that they have a mental health difficulty or problem by the time they're 14, and 75% by the time they're 18 years old. Then there's a lot more that we can be doing in those years as early intervention. And talking therapies are the way through all of this, not giving antidepressants. I mean, there's about 15 antidepressants that we would give to a child, and there's only one of them, I think it's Prozac, that actually works, but that also increases the amount of suicidal thoughts. So really, the best gift we can give to a young person is encourage them to talk, to deal with what it is that they're speaking about, and to leave it there and to move on. Also learning how to manage their mental health and well-being. So we're working with in North London. This is where we're based, and we're working with the schools in North London. And what we regularly I want to talk about two projects that we're involved in. One is a drop-in mentor project, and the other one is more of a mood mentor project. And what we're having now are young people, the type of young people that are being referred to us are school refusers. Because of course, we know that school refusal, refusing to go to school, that's one of the indicators of stress or anxiety. Excuse me. Stress and anxiety, and our mood mentors are trained on how to help a young person to manage that. Now, our mentors, they're not psychiatrists, they're not psychologists. They get guidance from a psychologist, but they have been trained and they've followed an accredited course in mood management and and mental health. So therefore, they can get into the child's world. They have listening skills. They've been trained in deep listening, so they can really be in the young person's world and then lead them and help them through. So with mood mentoring, we are now supporting a new type of student, a student that's refusing school. And the beauty of that is that because our mood mentors do home visits, we can actually start the support in their homes, and then as time goes on and the improvement happens, the mentor can then have their see them in schools. So this is something that's going really well, and it's really impactful. And in some of our mentors and our lead mentors, they specialize in these because they had this situation when they were growing up with their children. So they've got that lived experience, and they're sharing these with the parents of the young people that we're mentoring. And of course, we have all different types of young people. Some people are conflicted and they don't really want a psychologist to support them, for example. However, a mentor would be less threatening and more easy to be with. And because of that, our mood mentors are a success. So it's kind of like it allows a young person to really talk about what it is that they're dealing with without fear of judgment. And also as well, a lot of young people, when they're speaking about what they're dealing with, they think they're the only ones. And in speaking with somebody more experienced, they can see that they're not the only ones. So it's really, really helpful. So that's the mood mentoring, and that's going really well. Now we have started doing drop-in mentoring. So our mood mentors, they go into a school, and and for, not just for one session and one person, they will be there, and it will be more young people coming in to speak with somebody about what they're dealing with. And what we're seeing is that there seems to be lots around bullying, and also as well anxiety. So what we've been doing for each session is, when we invite the young person in, is asking, encouraging them to measure their moods, like where they are on the mood map. Are they low mood, low energy? Are they high energy, low mood? So usually they could be more high energy, low mood, so anxiety or stress. And once that's been identified, breathing exercises we've deemed the most impactful, and we do it with the young person, because doing it, asking them to start doing it and then come back the next week isn't really going to encourage them to do it. Some of them might just think, well, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then not do it. So it's really beneficial to do deep breathing exercises through them, because we all know that, when we take the deep breaths, it really does change the thoughts, that, the shift from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic, and it encourages that young person to calm down and start breathing more easily and thinking more rationally. And then after the session again, the mood mentor would ask the young person to measure their mood on the mood map, and do some breathing exercises again. So do that before, and then measure their mood on the mood map, so they can see the impact that the breathing and the talking and the listening has actually had on their mood. And of course, we know that once a young person's aware of their moods and aware of their moods on other people, this is the beginning of emotional intelligence. So, it's really important. Intelligence is fine. And as I found out as a science teacher, I was obsessed. I loved my work. And for me, it was all about achievement. The better results they had, the better future they would have. But then, of course, then if they are feeling anxious, and they're dealing with something in their day-to-day lives, and they're not having the support that they need, then the qualifications, I'm not saying that they're useless or pointless, but it's really much more important that a young person would learn how to and be able to manage their mental health and well-being. And once they know what they're dealing with, then they'll know the impact of their moods and themselves on the people and their family around them. And that's just so important. So today we're talking about our mood mentors. We're talking about our mood mentors in schools. Our drop-in mood mentors, which are, they're really doing well, and also our mood mentors who go in and have sessions with young people in schools, and also young people in their homes, in with a view to encouraging them back in school. So we've just started the research. So if there's anything that you need, because we've already done research on the benefits of mood mapping or mood mentoring. So if any of you are interested in reading more information about the study, then please do, message me below. I will be able to send you that study so you can see the impact. What we're actually doing at the moment now, we're looking at the impact of mood mentoring on school refusal, because the research, it makes sense that there's a correlation, because we know that young people that refuse to go to school, a lot of them have got heightened levels of anxiety. But of course, is it really possible through mood mentoring that we can help a young person to overcome their anxiety and their non-attendance and start going back into school? So I know that one student that we're starting to support, she has a 61% attendance, so we've started working with her. There's another young boy, the girl, she's 14 years old. The young boy, he's 15 years old, and he, in the last half term, has just been into school 2 half days, so two half days, and that and we started working with him last week. And already he's started going back into school. But of course, our supervision, if you like, our mentors stay with a young person for up to 12 weeks. There's an option to stop at weeks, but 12 weeks we deem enough time for a young person to be able to manage their moods, to know their moods and manage their moods successfully without us. So usually 12 weeks is more than enough. So today we've talked about mood mentoring in schools. It's our aim to have mood mentors in every school. If it's something that you're interested in, please do contact me. My name is Jackie Campbell. I'm the founder of Julian Campbell Foundation. And we can put a mood mentor in your school so they can support your young people. And then, you can just keep us posted with any, with with where you want to go from there. Next week, we'll be talking more about companies, and because we have a contract in an organization where where we're working with young people and their parents, because of course we all know, unfortunately, with the pandemic, and now it looks like we've got a war looming on the horizon, or that young people, it's difficult for our young people to be able to manage their mental health and well-being, for them to see a future for themselves in the midst of all of this. So it's really important that we get to them early. When I say early, when they're young, we can see that unprecedented. Every school that I go to and I speak with year groups, all of them are saying that their young people have come back to the school. There's two groups. There's young people that were already struggling with their mental health before the pandemic, and we have young people that are suffering as a result of the pandemic, and now have heightened displays of mental health and well-being that they didn't have before. Hello, Jasmine. Good grief, it's really great to see you. So how's things in your school, Jasmine? How are your students doing? So that's, so we really need to provide early intervention for our students and our children and young people, because it's got much worse since the pandemic, and now we've got the war. It's even more crucial that we really, get out there, that we really put, that we have this early intervention and show young people how to manage their mood, because because anxiety, when you're speaking with somebody that's got heightened anxiety, it's not easy. But if they can see that it's because of the circumstances, and then they're taught and shown how to manage their anxiety, how to lower their energy and to make their mood more positive, it's just going to be much better for them in their lives in the future, for them to manage themselves, their lives, the people around them, to manage their mental health and well-being. So thank you very much for listening to this week's transmission. We've been talking about our mood mentors in schools. If it's something you're interested in, please do write down below or inbox me. We're based in North London. However, we do have mentors as far as Bournemouth, and also we have them at Middlesbrough and Newcastle as well. We haven't got Scotland yet, but and what that means is that if you're interested in having a mood mentor in your school, that we could send them in to speak with you. So Jasmine, my students are asking a lot of questions about the war and its impact it's having on their lives, especially for students from that region. Yeah, I can just imagine. It's just difficult for young people. And I think young people are scared and they're anxious. And sometimes what they're actually doing, thank you for that, Jasmine, what they're actually doing is they are copying the behavior of their parents. So their parents, of course, are devastated. I know of a lot of people and families who are who are going to, they're going to Ukraine to pick up their families, or they're moving around, or they're coming to the UK. Um, it's it's really impactful, because when you look at how we are here in the UK, we are so diverse and so multicultural that, of course, it's impacting us in a really big way. So we need to be there and provide ourselves as resources, and provide our mood mentors as resources. So young people, with all of these thoughts about the war, and all it, and thoughts still about the pandemic, that they've got somebody that they can come in and speak with, and not only come in and speak with, but somebody to show them how to manage their mental health and well-being. Because let's face it, when you're anxious, then it just gets more difficult. But if you know how to bring down your anxiety, it's going to be much better for a learning environment. It's going to be much better for achievement. I mean, they do say that young people that have heightened displays of emotional intelligence, their achievement goes up by 11%. Personally, I think it's much more than that, but then I'd have to do a study to find that correlation myself. But there is an impact on achievement when you're teaching a young person and they are low mood and high energy, i.e., that is to say that they're anxious or they're stressed. Then it's difficult. You can't teach somebody who's scared and it be effective. What we need is to help them find ways to change their mood, so they're more positive, and bring down their energy levels so they can focus on the class and the lessons at least. And this is the beauty of mood mentoring, and this is the beauty of equipping a young person so they know how to manage their moods, especially with what we're dealing with now. So please do contact me. So thank you for listening to this video. Next week we're going to be talking about our project in the company, and the impact it's having, or our mood mentors are having in the company setting. And again, I'll say that if you want to read the previous study that took place the year before last, please let me know, and we can have that email to you. And at the moment, and if you are interested in the study of our school refusal program, we've only just started. We started 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we will have the results, and we'll have the paper complete in. It will be, because mood mentoring takes about 12 weeks. So we're talking about maybe next term. In the summer term, we'll have that available. But what I will do, I will keep you updated with the weekly progress, because so far our mood mentors are having a really great impact, a positive impact on our young people. And they are going back into school. But of course, we won't know the full results until we've looked at all of the young people, and looked at the impact on the percentage of attendance. So please write any comments below, and I will be here the same time next week. If there's any questions you've got about mood mentoring, please do ask. If there's any videos you'd like me to give, please do ask. We have mood mentors that we'd like to bring on so they can speak with you about what it's like for them. So if you're interested in that, we can do that as well. And I think there was something else I was going to say. So as well as mood mentors, and people behind the scenes as well. You know as well that that we are a volunteer-led organization, and we're hoping that we'll be able to raise funds that we can grow. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for your comments, and I will see you same time next week. Thank you.